Everyone, welcome to Vaish Courses YouTube channel. My name is Vaishnavi, and in this video we are going to discuss about the India's first ever herbicide tolerant and non-GM rice variety. It has been introduced recently, so we are going to discuss about this topic. So recently IARI, that is Indian Agriculture Research Institute, has developed the country's first ever non-GM, that is genetically modified herbicide tolerant rice varieties with Pusa Basmati 1979 and Pusa Basmati 1985. So IARI, the Indian Agriculture Analysis Institute, has developed this. This is a straight seeded variety, and it doesn't require any more water. It will help in saving water, and it will consume the less amount of labor. So before discussing more about this topic, I'll remind you to subscribe to this channel, like the video if you are liking this news updates, and give your feedback in the comment section. So let's start the video now. So before starting the actual topic, let me tell you what is herbicide. Herbicide is nothing but it's a substance that is toxic, and it is used to destroy unwanted vegetation. So whenever some unwanted vegetation is there, it will help us to destroy that unwanted vegetation, and it is a toxic to the plants. Okay. So PM released the first non-GM herbicide tolerant rice varieties. This is how they will help farmers. So according to IARI, these rice varieties has been developed by crossing the two existing popular varieties, that is Pusa 1121 and Pusa 1509 with Robin. Okay, there is a crossing which is taking place between this Pusa 1121 and Pusa 1509 with Robin, which in turn is a drought tolerant rice variety derived from the Nagina 22, another deep root drought and heat tolerant rice breed. Okay. So, IARI claims the new rice varieties will save the labor and water input in rice cultivation compared to conventional transplanting varieties, as they can be directly seeded. So, as they are directly seeded, they will consume more water, but now which is that produced non-herbicide crop will help in saving the water and help in saving the labor also. And this is because the new varieties will allow the direct application of the herbicides such as the imazethfir, which eradicates the wide range of weeds. Okay. In conventional rice growing, herbicides are not directly applied as they can't distinguish between the rice plants and weeds. Therefore, paddy seeds are first raised as young plants. They are grown as a young plants in the nurseries before they plant in the fields. Okay. Some 25 to 35 days later, they will be planted in the fields. This whole process is necessary because standing water in the nursery acts as a natural herbicide for these plants, which will help in eliminating the weeds. But the process is a very water and labor intensive process, as the young seedlings need to be maintained in a standing water up to 5 centimeter deep for almost a month. This requires massive labor work, as the rice fields require watering 2 to 3 days for whole month along with the puddling in the nursery. So this require more water. So what did PM Narendra Modi do is, he while releasing the new varieties said that this will ensure the higher yields, and in the last 6 to 7 years science and technology are being used on a priority basis. He told that it will help in the solving the challenges related to agriculture which is present now, and it will also help in protecting the crops from diseases, and it will also create new varieties of seeds which will produce the higher yield. So because of the climate change, new types of pests, new types of epidemics are coming. Okay, due to this there is a big threat to the health of humans and livestock, and crops are also being affected because of the climate change. So there are many indirect effects also. So in-depth research is needed on these aspects. Also, it is now necessary to develop millets and other grains further with solution from science and research. Okay, the purpose is that they can be grown in different parts of the country according to the different needs. Okay. And the other crop varieties with special traits are actually developed in the year 2021, and some of them are chickpea, which are the drought tolerant variety, mosaic, resistant pigeon pea, early maturing soybean, biofortified varieties of wheat, pearl millet, maize, chickpea, quinoa, and others. Okay, and they are released by Narendra Modi, which will help in addressing the challenges of the climate change and the malnutrition, as they contain the special traits like special features like climate resilience and higher nutrition content. These will contain the higher nutrition. Indigenous varieties of rice are being promoted through variety of programs. So variety of programs like by involving the agriculture universities like KVKs and NGOs, project entitled Mainstreaming Agriculture Biodiversity Conservation and Utilization of the Agriculture Sector is there to ensure the ecosystem services and reduces the vulnerability. So these type of programs are being developed in order to ensure the promotion of the indigenously developed variety of rice. So, if you see the nutritional profiling of 300 selected rice varieties actually has been done for market linkage and better price to the farmers. Farmers are also being trained on the conservation programs, improvement and use of the traditional indigenous varieties through participatory selection. So, they are being trained in order to conserve and improve and use the traditional varieties. Further, for access of seeds of this indigenous variety, what has been done is the community seed banks have been established. Okay, at community level. So it will involve the SHGs and KVKs in remote and tribal areas, and the total of 26 community seed banks, which will conserve more than 4,000 native land races and farmer varieties of different food crops, which will also include rice, have been strengthened and they are being established. Okay, they are more than 4,000, and it is done by the help of the SHGs and KVKs at community level. So Indian agriculture is directly dependent on the climate change and weather, as we know that with the climate change the agriculture patterns will also change. So the climate changes in temperature, rainfall, CO2 concentration are expected to significantly impact the crop growth and production in the country. So the cycle of monsoons will also impact, like have a effect on it. For example, if you take a warmer atmosphere, will aggressively push the hydrological cycle, which alters rainfall since it holds more moisture, and it will push for more evaporation, leading to dry lakes and other water bodies. So, coming to the changing climate affecting agriculture. So, if you take the extreme heat, crops need suitable soil, water, sunlight, and heat to grow. However, extreme heat events and reduction in precipitation will hamper the crop productivity. And coming to the changing rainfall patterns, these changing rainfall patterns have actually been shifting across the country, and such changes are expected to intensify over the coming years. Okay, these will also have the effect on the productivity of the crop. And coming to the floods in many agricultural regions of the country has witnessed the devastated crops and livestock and accelerated soil erosion, and will lead to the pollution of water. And coming to the scenario in India, India is the third largest emitter of the GHGs after China and US. So, according to the International Energy Agency, India emitted 2,299 million tons of CO2 in the year 2018. This means it will account 7% of the global GHG emissions. So India itself is emitting 7% of GHGs, and agriculture and livestock account for 18% and gross national emissions. A study by International Maize and Wheat Improvement Center is saying that India has a potential to cut 18% of its annual GHG emissions from the agriculture and the livestock sector alone. And what are the measures to be taken in order to have a less impact of this? We should create and adopt the short term and the long term strategies to human activities, which will help in changing the climate. Okay, which will help in promoting the changes in the climate. Firstly, we need to develop new climate tolerant crop varieties, which this is a very important one. Climate tolerant crops to be adopted, which will be in the climate resilient position. They will have a trait of climate resilience, which can be a key tool for adapting agriculture to a changing climate. Besides, employ cropping system development which help in agriculture adapt to different seasons also. For example, if you take the crop mixtures that have several crops growing at one time, so it can help systems exhibit greater durability during periods of flood or when the heat is more, when there is a heat stress. So to control the nitrous problems, we should deploy improvements in plant nitrogen and water use in a better and efficient manner. So these are kind of climate resilient crops should be developed. So, in order to follow the effective coordination about the climate change data, what need to be done is the private and the government organizations or the agencies should develop the global testing sites, and they have to collect the data, and they should do give their efforts. So by doing such methods, one should use standard data protocols to access the performance of the existing and the new genetic material and the management systems in the agroclimatic conditions, current range of the agroclimatic conditions. So private and the government agencies should coordinate each other in order to collect the data and work upon it. Okay, and then to create and generate value based new assessment tools, and they should develop the methods which will help in incorporating the biophysical hurdles which affect agriculture productivity, climate and socio-economic scenarios. And these scientific tools should be employed at regular intervals in different parts of the country. So these should be done in order to avoid all those like effects on the crops due to climate change. So I hope so you liked the video, because this is a very extensive topic, and I have covered it very well. So I hope so you will like it. Please like it if you like the video. Give your feedback in the comment box and subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends and your neighbors or relatives whatsoever. Okay, thank you everyone. Let's meet with another video in the next class. Bye bye.